Well, Indiana State is a smart basketball team. They love to fast break if it's possible. And when they can't, they utilize all of Larry Bird. He's a great shooter, great scorer, but he is perhaps the best passing big man in the entire country. He's almost impossible to double team. He passes and hits the open man so well. I'd have to say tonight you're going to see probably one of the most intelligent players that have ever played college basketball.
Team that has to stop him is Tulsa. Tulsa and
Texas leading 2-0 as the Hogs bring it up. Moncrief and Reed in the backcourt. Alan Zahn from Albuquerque. Peterson, number 42, off to Reed. Zahn looking for the open man. Goes in the corner to Reed. We're tied at 2.
Good patience then by Arkansas. They moved the ball around until they could get the ball into one of their people close to the basket. Reed took it in there strong with a power move.
Hogs perennially one of the top field goal shooting teams in the country, averaging better than 50% of the year. Krivak's trying to get open, has Moncrief staying close with him. Branyan over Zahn for the bucket. Tyrone Branyan was not a starter at the beginning of last year, but boy, did he come on strong for the Longhorns. One of the fine performers. Latter stages of the season and on into the NIT tournament. Pass underneath, knocked away from Stroud. We get a whistle and a foul call on Texas Philip Stroud.
Texas Tech did a good job last Saturday attacking Texas's matchup zone by hitting Brewster right in the middle of that zone on the free throw line. And Arkansas intends to attack the same way. Try to get it inside.
Team fouls even now at 1 apiece. Reed up on top to Moncrief. Hasn't taken a shot yet. Now he has. That's why Sidney Moncrief is just about everybody's choice for an All-American this year. In addition to being a fine inside player, he has worked very hard in the offseason on his shooting outside the perimeter. He's very effective now from that 15 to 20-foot range. Stroud off the glass. Knocked out of bounds. It belongs to Texas. Score tied at 4 with the game 2.5 minutes old.
Looks like you inbound it. Looks like Arkansas will go into a 2-3 zone on out-of-bounds play. A lot of teams do this.
Krivak's nice soft touch from outside. Jim Krivak's the 6'1 senior, who right now is the 3rd leading scorer in the history of the University of Texas, behind Raymond Downs and Larry Robinson. Texas leading 6-4. Peterson, the freshman, to Zahn, open shot from 15. Moncrief. Tipped up by Shaw. Arkansas doing a job controlling the backboards in the early going. Foul is called on Moore.
That's one of the strengths of this Arkansas team is their rebounding ability. They are a much better rebounding team than they were last year. They're not as good offensively as they were, but they can really hit the boards.
They have averaged 10 rebounds per game better than the opposition. It's a pretty significant statistic. Arkansas trailing 6-4. Zahn working the outside with Reed. That's Keith Peterson, big freshman. Hits it. Let's see if the bucket will go. It will count. So the score tied at 6, and Peterson with an opportunity to complete the three-point play.
Peterson has a nice release, Frank. He is considered their best outside shooter. Peterson, Moncrief, and one of their substitutes, Mike Young, are the 3 guys that can really bust the zone up.
So Arkansas has taken the lead for the first time at 7-6, 16 minutes, 55 seconds left to play in the first half. Krivak's clears it across the timeline. Moncrief staying with him. Johnny Moore puts a move on Reed. And the foul is called on Moncrief, and that's 2 on him in the early going.
Well, that will definitely affect his play. Let's watch him right here. You'll see him try to fight over right here. You see him come across there, try to reach for the ball, got him from behind. He cannot play now and pick up his 3rd early. I think they call the foul on Alan Zahn.
So Zahn picks up his first personal foul. Ball goes to Texas, and the Longhorns want time. Frank Labor with Rudy Davalos back at Barnhill Arena on the campus of the University of Arkansas in Fayetteville. Hogs lead the Longhorns 7-6. Texas ball. Razorbacks hitting 60% from the field. Texas 75%. 3 out of 4 for Texas. Texas trying to penetrate this very, very tough Arkansas defense. Krivaks forces the shot and hits it anyway. We get a foul called on Moncrief, number 3, on Sidney Moncrief.
And we've got Eddie Sutton coming all the way out to midcourt. He is very incensed about that call. Krivaks did a good job of drawing that foul. He made the bucket, plus he threw his body into the man and got fouled. There it is right there. And that's 3 fouls on Sidney Moncrief. I believe they call that on Moncrief.
Team fouls. Arkansas has 4. Texas is 3. Shooting violation. Of course, he made the shot, so he gets just the 1 free throw. That gives Krivaks 5 points on the evening. And Texas is back in the lead at 9-7. U.S. Reed brings the ball across the center line. Zahn. Deep into the corner, guarded closely by Brannion. And let's see, we may have got a foul away from the ball. This one goes against Texas' Dave Shepard.
Looks like they're going to call it real close, Frank. They're really calling the game very close. The players have, a smart player will adapt to the way the referees call. They're going to have to watch it.
Team fouls even now at 4 apiece. After the 6th, of course, you go to the bonus. Arkansas down by 2. Playing it very deliberate. Keith Peterson into the corner to Alan Zahn. Great high school player out of Albuquerque, New Mexico. First-year starter. Here's Peterson, the freshman. Krivaks battling for that one. Zahn gets the rebound back, and it is good. And let's see if we got a whistle and another foul called underneath the bucket. That will be the case. Philip Stroud. This time, and the basket goes. Score is tied at 9, and Zahn will have a chance to break the tie.
When you play a zone defense of any kind, whether it be a matchup or a straight zone, normally one of the weaknesses of this type of defense is the rebounding. You see it right here. You see Arkansas players are able to get to the boards. Nobody is screening them off. That's what happens against, when you play a zone.
6'7" junior hits. And it's the Hogs by 1, 10-9. Jim Krivaks. He, along with Baxter, MVPs last year in the NIT tournament in New York. Texas took New York by storm. I tell you, Krivaks gets hot. You better put somebody on him, because he'll bomb you from that distance all night long. He's got 7 points. And Texas is up 11-10. U.S. Reed. Guarded closely by Moore. Moncrief operating with 3 fouls on him here in the first 4 minutes of the game. Off to Zahn. Shaw battling for the rebound underneath, and Shaw is called for pushing off. That'll be Texas ball in the backcourt. That's now 5 team fouls on both clubs. So we're about to go into the bonus here, and the game's not even 5 minutes old. That brings down a rain of some paper cups from above, some wadded up paper cups. Official timeout call by Joe Thomas.
Texas runs a perimeter offense, Frank. They do a lot of screening outside. Arkansas has been trying to fight over those screens, and that's how they picked up some of these fouls early in the game.
Johnny Moore looking for an opening. Here's Moore, hitting from outside. He averaged better than 13 points a game last year, but hasn't shot that much this year.
He hasn't even really tried to score. He averaged 13 last year. This year he's averaging 7. He's got to get into the offense more for the Longhorns.
Texas with a 3-point lead at 13-10. Sidney Moncrief on top. Shaw, nice pass underneath. Peterson traveling. The freshman walked. That brings Eddie Sutton up off the bench.
I'm predicting a technical foul here pretty soon. He has really showed displeasure on about 2 or 3 of the last calls. It looks like he's trying to get one.
See if Arkansas moves that defense out a little bit to cut off Krivaks and prevent him from popping those 20 and 25 footers.
Well, they went to a 2-3 zone. Now that's Krivaks' meat right there to shoot against the zone, but he missed this one.
Krivaks pass blocked by Reed, but picked up by Moore. Inside it goes. Brannion's shot is blocked by Shaw. Fine rejection by the 6'11" Arkansas pivot man. U.S. Reed takes it down into the corner, almost has it slapped away. Alan Zahn underneath. Peterson Big muscular freshman lost it. Big scramble for the ball, and let's see. Jump ball. Let's see who this one goes to. Of course, the teams will alternate on the tie ball situations. This time it will be Texas possession. 13 minutes, 57 seconds left in the first half. Texas leading by 3.
Arkansas has been forced into this 2-3 zone only because Sidney Moncrief picked up his 3rd foul early. They do not like to play the zone. They like the man-to-man defense, but they have to go to zone to keep Moncrief in the game.
Johnny Moore wearing that 00. Nice shot from deep in the corner by Dave Shepard, the 6'4 sophomore. Filling in for Ron Baxter, gets his first bucket, and Texas has its biggest lead of the night at 15-10. Hogg starting slow. Moncrief in foul trouble, has 3 on him. They bring Shaw out of the pivot. Peterson, husky kid for a freshman. They like him because of that muscular stature of his. He can beat the boards pretty good. Foul is called on Shepard. That's 2 on him. Shepard is out of Los Angeles, where Abe Lemons has found some fruitful recruiting grounds.
Certainly has. Picked up Henry Johnson also from Los Angeles. Brought in Henry, Keith Stevens, and Dave Shepard last year, all from L.A. Ron Baxter helped get them.
13 minutes left to play in the first half. Arkansas in white, trailing by a score of 15-10. Crowd hasn't that much to cheer about so far from the Razorbacks' point of view. Peterson missing on the shot, trying to follow on the rebound. Shaw picks it up, has it knocked out of his hands, and Johnny Moore comes up with it. And again, Sutton is up off the bench.
Johnny Moore has exceptionally quick hands. Slapped the ball out of the hands then of Shaw. Really quick hands, quickest in the conference.
Moore from Altoona, Pennsylvania. Tyrone Branyan hits for the Longhorns, and it's a 7-point Texas advantage. 17-10. It's a big game, particularly from Texas. But they've got those 4 returning starters, and that's what you want to have, particularly in the big road games. Peterson lost the ball. Reed went after it underneath. He was standing out of bounds when he came down with it. It'll be Texas ball. Timeout being called by Arkansas with the score. Texas 17, Arkansas 10. Arkansas has held its opponents this year to an average of 41% field goal shooting, so you can see the big problem here. Texas hot as a firecracker in the opening half, which has 11 minutes, 55 seconds left to play. Freebacks working the ball on the outside. Zahn trying to stay with him. Follows him into the corner. Branyan from underneath, a whistle and a foul called on Branyan for charging. Offensive foul.
Branyan tried to draw the foul. Had the defensive player inside guarding him and tried to throw his body in there. That's one of those 50-50 calls. Sometimes, referees call him one way, some call him another. He got the foul on him then.
That's his first foul, the team's 5th. Now Texas is already in the bonus situation. Arkansas has committed 7 team fouls in the first half. So Texas will be shooting the bonus from this point on, and Arkansas is on the verge of that. 11 minutes, 20 seconds. Moore with the tip and the steal. Johnny Moore. Nice feed off to Dave Shepard, who hits with the left-handed layup. 19-10, Texas.
Frank, Arkansas has got to get the ball to Moncrief more. Let him get in the offense. There's no reason really to have him in there that much with 3 fouls unless you're going to get him shots. He's got to start shooting.
U.S. Reed on the outside to Zahn. There's the Razorbacks this year without the 2 big guns. Ron Brewer. Nice shot. Finally hit one. Scott Hastings, who came in during the last timeout. 6'10 freshman. Getting his first bucket of the night. 19-12, Texas. Freebacks looking for an opening. Has it taken away. Shaw got it to Moncrief, and Moncrief has it knocked out of his hands by Phil Stroud.
Shaw's not even guarding Stroud half the time outside. He'll help out on another man and leave Stroud by himself at 15 to 20 feet. They really don't respect him as an outside shooter.
So Arkansas with 1 substitution during that last timeout. Scott Hastings, a big 6'10" freshman from Missouri, or from Kansas. Outstanding high school player in the state last year and also a state tennis champion. Moncrief from outside. Off the front rim, short, fouled by Shepard. That's 3 on Dave Shepard. And that will bring on Ron Baxter. Here comes Baxter into the game. As Shepard will get a rest.
Sidney Moncrief's really got to be careful. Really got to be careful now because Texas is going to be looking for the offensive charge on him. They're going to try to move under him on his shots. They're going to move on him every time he cuts through the lane. They're going to jump in front of him. He's got 3 fouls. If he should pick up his 4th in the first half, could be curtains for Arkansas.
Moncrief has 2 points thus far in 1 basket. He'll get 2 free throw attempts here. We'll keep a close watch on Baxter too and see how that ankle is reacting. See if he has any problems moving. Doesn't look like Ron's lost any weight since last year, does it?
I like Abe's quote on Ron. He said most guys when they get hurt, you know, they just limp. He said when Baxter walks with that hurt ankle, he falls.
19-13 with another try to come. So Moncrief picks up 2 points. Arkansas shaves the deficit to 5. 9:55 left to play in the first half. Razorbacks into the corner. Looking for help. Goes back outside. Bill Stroud, who took the place of Gary Goodner, who did such a fine job in the pivot last year for the Longhorns. He's the one starter they lost. Texas being very patient on offense here. Johnny Moore over the head. Oh, what a shot. Well, that qualifies as the shot of the night so far. It's all he could do, or he would have got it blocked.
You know what makes me mad? He didn't even smile after that kind of shot. You got to laugh a little on that one.
21-14. Circus shot by Johnny Moore. Texas continues hot here in the first half. Moncrief trying to get inside. Nice touch. Moncrief gets his 2nd bucket. He has 6 points.
I wouldn't be surprised to see Texas really work the ball to Brannion a lot. Moncrief's guarding him. Brannion's a very smart offensive player.
Here's Ron Baxter. He can shoot too. Baxter gets his first bucket. He, of course, made the baseball pass famous last year in the NIT. Just killed some of the teams with that court-length pass. 23-16. Texas leading. Their biggest lead has been 9. Inside to Moncrief. Gets the shot, hits the bucket. Basket will count. And he was fouled.
Razorbacks got him on the hand, got him on the wrist.
Razorbacks picks up his 2nd personal foul. And it's obvious that Moncrief's getting into the game.
That's right. We talked about it. Now they're going to him. All they're doing, that's the substitute Tony Brown coming in. You know, all they're doing on that, Frank, is just setting him up on the free throw line, let him turn around and shoot over the small guards.
Here's a timeout call by Texas with the score. The Longhorns 23 and the Razorbacks 18. Not after a struggle, though.
Our next Southwest Conference primetime basketball telecast via the Metro Communication Network is Monday, January the 22nd at 6:30 p.m. when the Rice Owls take on the TCU Horned Frogs.
Baxter called on the charging foul. Ron Baxter picks up the personal. That's his first.
All right, let's take a look at it. You see Johnny Moore. Johnny Moore right here. I don't know what we're looking at.
Well, they thought the fans thought he did some walking out there, but it wasn't called, and the fans here got very unhappy about it. But Baxter wound up call for charging. Here come the Razorbacks, trailing by 5 with 8 minutes left to play in the first half. This is Brown, the guard who came into the ball game a few moments ago. He's another good youngster. 6'6" freshman, and they say he can leap right out of the arena. Steve Shaw, number 30. To Hastings, almost lost it into the corner to Reed. Trying to get it to Moncrief, and they finally do in the corner. He goes after it. Moncrief saves it. Hastings to Shaw. Shaw, or rather Hastings from the corner, and Moncrief going high for the board. 2.
He's something else, Frank. Just a tremendous all-around athlete. He goes after that ball as well as anybody. He's going to be a number 1 draft pick in the NBA. Let's take a look at him. Just see him power his way up.
Well, Eddie Sutton says he plays even in practice like it's for the national championship. Sidney Moncrief Shot taken by Baxter. The foul is called on Arkansas's Steve Shaw. And Baxter will go to the line as Arkansas had cut the lead to 3. By the way, you notice a lot of the fans wearing hats tonight.
In tribute to the Mad Hatters.
The Mad Hatters. They used to raise a lot of cane up here, and they've been kind of phased out. And in fond remembrance, and the fact that the Arkansas people don't like the Texas people too well, they've asked everybody to wear a hat tonight. This is hat night. So you see a lot of them around the stands. 23-20. Texas leading. Longhorns with the ball. Krivaks driving on Brown. Drops it back off to Baxter. John Moore. He doesn't shoot often, but boy, when he does, he knows how to find that hoop. 6 points for Moore and a 5-point Texas lead. Texas has been ahead most of the first half. Their biggest lead has been 9. Hastings started to move for the basket, then backed out. Brown. Hastings missed the tip in. Here's a fast break. Krivaks down to Moore. Snowbird for 2 points. John Moore has 8. Texas with a 7-point lead at 27-20. Time remaining 6 minutes, 20 seconds in the first half.
This happens a lot of times when you put in a substitute guard. Brown did not get back. He went to the offensive boards. One of those guards has got to get back on defense.
Scott Hastings, freshman, to Brown, a freshman. Reed from deep in the corner fails to hit. Nice rebound. Stroud clearing the boards for Abe Lemon's Texas Longhorns. Moore slows it down. 5 minutes and 50 seconds to go. Moore into the corner, pivots around, back to Baxter. Clear shot from 20. Big rebound for U.S. Reed. Steal by Baxter. Down it comes to Moore, to Krivaks, and 2 points.
Those are those quick hands we talked about earlier. He has tremendous anticipation. He knew they were going to try a cross-court pass. Let's take a look at it. Made the nice pass to Krivaks, but that was set up by Johnny Moore. Give him credit.
It's a pretty fast break, as you'll see all night. 29-20. Again, Texas matching its biggest lead of the night. Razorbacks having trouble tonight. As we said, they have won 35 in a row on this court. Haven't lost a conference game since 1976 when SMU beat them. Moncrief missing, but all alone underneath is Shaw for the tip-in. Steve Shaw gets his first bucket. 29-22. Krivaks, who has gone all the way, picked up by Brown. Now double teamed by Brown and Moncrief as he goes to the hoop. Nice work underneath by Stroud. He takes the shot and he is fouled by Shaw. Steve Shaw gets his second personal foul.
Stroud did a real good job on the offensive boards. He's actually screened the man out, screened Shaw out, and got the ball, and then Shaw did chop him across the wrist on the shot.
Both teams now the bonus the rest of the way. Brown gets a rest. And a timeout is being called by Texas with 4 minutes and 46 seconds left to play in the half with the score. Texas 29, Arkansas 22. Let's pause for this message from Schlitz. First free throw attempt, but gets the second for the University of Texas. 6'7" senior from Houston makes it a 30-22 game. Texas by 8. With 4 minutes and 40 seconds left to play, Texas is only hitting 74% from the field. 14 out of 19. Arkansas hitting 50%. That's not bad. Shot from way outside, missed by Keith Peterson. Goes out of bounds.
Brad Press is in the lineup for the Razorbacks. Hometown Austin, Texas.
Brad played his last year in high school in Austin, but his family originally from Florida. And he played his earlier high school years there. Was recruited by Eddie Sutton, decided to come to Arkansas. Blue chip player, no question about that. Shot missed by Stroud, tipped up by Stroud. Longhorn scrapping underneath. Baxter finally gets it and puts it through. Baxter gets his second bucket of the night.
Stroud did a super job of keeping that ball in play for the Longhorns. He's certainly doing a job of filling the shoes of Gary Goodner.
That's a 10-point lead now for Texas. That's their biggest of the night. Zahn getting ready to come back in for Arkansas. Keith Peterson, number 42, big freshman, goes cross-court to U.S. Reed. Into the corner to Moncrief. Moncrief draws some heavy traffic. Shot missed by Shaw. Tip and try by Peterson. And a foul called underneath on Stroud. That's 3 on Stroud. There comes Zahn back into the game, and Peterson comes out. Arkansas now has Fress in there. They've got Moncrief, Reed, Shaw, and Zahn. Abe Lemons, the head coach of the Texas Longhorns.
Looks like he's in the game a lot more tonight than he was in Lubbock. He was sitting there really disappointed in the way his club performed in Lubbock, but he's got to be happy with what he sees tonight.
Well, as you mentioned, they may be a little scared now. You know, despite having 4 starters back, they did play badly out there, and they need a victory. And this would be a great tonic for them, certainly, winning here at Arkansas, where the Razorbacks haven't lost in 3 years.
Well, if you're a player and you can't get up here, you know you're not much of a competitor.
4 out of 5 from the free throw line for Moncrief, who has 12 points. It's 32-24. Texas by 8. 3.5 minutes remaining in the first half of play. Krivaks putting his moves on Fress, and we get a whistle and a foul called on Fress. So the freshman from Austin picks up his first personal foul. He's 6'5". And going to the line will be Krivaks. He has 9 points, 1 out of 1 from the free throw line. Texas with phenomenal field goal shooting here in the first half. They've been above 70% for the entire game.
You know, Brad's parents are able to see this game tonight, Frank. It's being telecast back to Austin, Texas.
Krivaks is Texas' leading scorer with 11. Moncrief has 12 for Arkansas to lead all scorers. 34-24. Texas with a 10-point advantage. It's been around 8 or 10 for the last 5 or 6 minutes. Press on the outside with U.S. Reed. Reed has Krivaks all over it. Press in the corner to Moncrief. Moncrief double teams, forces the shot. No good. Scrap for the rebound underneath. Baxter is called for walking. It'll be Arkansas's ball underneath their offensive hoop. Three minutes and 5 seconds left to play in the first half. Official timeout here as they mop the deck. Press back outside to U.S. Reed. Arkansas not panicking, staying with their game, hoping their shooting gets better or Texas gets worse. Ulysses Reed, 25 feet.
Good patience again by the Razorbacks. They were down 10 points, but you can't rush it. You've got to work with a good shot. That's exactly what they did that last time.
8-point Texas lead, 34-26, 2.5 minutes remaining in the first half of play. Stroud looking for someplace to go. There's a steal by Moncrief. Here comes the dunk.
That got everybody off their seats. Let's take a look at it. Watch him jump. One of the best leapers in the Southwest Conference.
14 points for Sidney Moncrief. Timeout called by Texas. 2 minutes and 22 seconds left to play in the first half. And Arkansas has narrowed the deficit to 6 points, and look at it again. Hitting 32-4 on the season. Texas went 26-5. And if you don't think Southwest Conference basketball got attention, you got another guest coming. That's John Moore from outside. He's got 10 points in the first half. Maybe one of his better offensive games of the year. 36-28. Once again, an 8-point advantage for Texas. Less than 2 minutes to go. Zahn to Reed. U.S. Reed has played the entire first half. Here's Brad Fress from Austin. Hands off to Moncrief. Krivaks gets it down to Moore. Good defense by Texas. Baxter almost lost it. Double dribble is what they say. So it'll go to Arkansas. Abe doesn't like it.
You know,
does Abe actually think they could hear him?
No. There was a replay on it. He called double dribble. It was a very questionable call. I really couldn't tell. I was looking at the Arkansas bench when it happened.
Arkansas trailing by 8 with 1:20 to go. Inside to Zahn. Off the glass. Tipped in by Moncrief. I mean, tipped down by Moncrief. He was way above the hoop. And Moncrief has really caught on fire. He has 16 points. 36-30. 1 minute left in the first half. Branyan missed the shot. Here comes Sidney Moncrief. Arkansas's All-American. Cross court to Zahn. Fress from the corner. Baxter handles the rebound. Quickly down to Moore. Krivaks with the cripple. Easy 2 points for the Horns. Krivaks with 13 points in the first half, 35 seconds. And Texas has an 8-point lead, 38-30.
They may go for one shot. Arkansas may run the clock down and just take the last shot, try to go in 6 down.
They've trailed virtually the entire first half. The only time they've been ahead is at 10-9. 10-point lead has been Texas' biggest. Arkansas playing for the last shot. 13 seconds, 12 seconds. You see it ticking off. Zahn starts it going to Fress. Moncrief takes it from 22. Moncrief with 18 first half points. That's it. What a first half from Barnhill Arena. That is the end of the first half with the score. Texas 38, Arkansas 32. We'll return with our halftime activities after these messages. And Dave Shepard has 3. Texas will throw it in to start the second half since they lost the opening tip-off. Johnny Moore, 0-0. Stroud is in there, Krivaks is in there, Branyan is in there, and Baxter is in there. All except Baxter started the first half. Shepard started because Baxter had the bad ankle. Shot missed by Stroud. We get a foul called underneath on Texas.
Branyan pushed off, tried to get rebound position on the offensive boards and shoved off.
That's 2 on Branyan. Arkansas's ball in the backcourt. Sidney Moncrief with 18 points. Working in the backcourt with Reed, number 24, who has the ball right now. Brad Fress is in there. Shaw is in there. And Zahn is in there. That completes the starters. Fress did not start the ball game. The other 4 did. Fress is in place of Peterson, who started. They tried Hastings at that position. Now they're trying Fress, the freshman from Austin. Fress, number 12. Cross court to U.S. Reed. 38-32. Texas by 6. They have led virtually the entire game.
It's very difficult to attack a zone from the outside, from the perimeter only. You've got to get it in.
Reed from the corner. Collects third basket of the game.
Except on that kind of shot.
4-point lead for Texas, and that's about as close as Arkansas has been in quite some time. Krivaks inside to Baxter. Stroud back to Krivaks. Reed trying to stay with him. Quick pass off to Branyan, who penetrates, has it swatted away by Reed. Here comes Moncrief off to Reed. What a shot! Oh, he went 360 degrees, completely around in a circle.
Watch this move now. He does a 360 right here. You don't see that often in college basketball. Just a super move by U.S. Reed.
Sensational. 38-36, Texas by 2. Branyan, open shot from 15, doesn't hit it. Moncrief gets the rebound. He is fouled by Baxter.
If Arkansas can come down and get a basket right now, they'll be tied up, and this crowd will go crazy, Frank.
What are they doing now? Moncrief in the backcourt with U.S. Reed. Here come the Hogs with a chance to tie it. Second half is 2 minutes old. You recall they had a great second half comeback against Houston. They were down 22 points in the first half to the Cougars a week ago. Won it by 1. Zahn. Score is tied. Arkansas has come back from 10 points down and tied Texas at 38. Now, Texas still hasn't scored here in the second half, which is now 2.5 minutes old. Krivaks. No basket. Or will it count? Let's see.
No, they call the block early before the shot. They'll take it out on the side.
Foul is on Arkansas.
That's one of the differences in pro basketball and college basketball. In pro basketball, that bucket would have been good. It would have been a continuation play.
Baxter inbounding it to Moore. Texas with 2 team fouls. Arkansas with 1 here in the second half. Stroud giving it off to Johnny Moore. Hasn't missed tonight. He's 5 out of 5 from the field. Krivaks from 20 feet off the glass. Shaw rebounds. Here's Arkansas now with a chance to take the lead for the first time since early in the game, and Moncrief trying to do it all by himself. Texas comes back quickly. Moore down to Kravacs, fakes it from 25. Now has the open shot. Moncrief trying to rebound, knocks it into the hands of Baxter, and Baxter collects the two-pointer. 6 points for Ron Baxter. Texas gets the lead back at 40-38.
I wouldn't be surprised to see Arkansas try to run more just like they did the last time. Even though Moncrief missed the layup, you can beat a zone down the floor before it has a chance to set up.
Reed, top of the circle as they work it around the horn to Alan Zahn. Zahn, number 20, out to U.S. Reed. Kravacs clearing the boards that time for Texas. Down to Johnny Moore. Quickly to Branyan. Fine shot by Branyan. He would have had it blocked had he gone the conventional way. But he went under the bucket. Texas back up by 4. This is where that experience pays off now with 4 returning starters off a championship team.
Well, they're a tough team to rattle. They've got veteran players, played in the NIT championship. They know what it's all about.
42-38. Texas by 4. Moncrief shooting over Moore. Scrapping for the rebound is Reed.
Reed just whipped Tyrone Branyan, and he's going to get a free throw like we're going to get a three-point play.
Reed simply out-fighting Tyrone Branyan for that rebound, putting it through and then being fouled. And Texas comes in with Dave Shepard.
Let's take a look right there. You see Reed just go up. Branyan is not a good jumper. Reed just basically whipped him on the boards.
Timeout Texas with the score. Texas 42, Arkansas 40. Let's pause for these messages from your local station. That may sound a little trite, but you're seeing Southwest Conference basketball at its finest tonight. The two co-champions from last year, both of them playing like champions. Texas and Arkansas, 42-40. Texas leading by 2, and Reed with a chance to cut it to 1. This is his first free throw attempt of the night. Longhorns by 1 point. Texas has cooled off a little bit. They're shooting 59% now for the game. Arkansas shooting 49%. Razorbacks had a 1 rebound edge at halftime. That's now up to 5. That's been a little different here in the second half. Shepard handing off to Kravacs. Kravacs on the outside. Arkansas has won 35 straight at home. They're undefeated on the year. Here's Baxter. Big man with a nice touch.
Baxter made a nice play. Got a good bounce. He had Stroud wide open underneath the basket. I was surprised he didn't pass it off to him.
3-point lead for the Longhorns at 44-41. Alan Zahn into the corner to Sidney Moncrief. Moncrief has not scored here in the second half. Fress. Cross court to Moncrief. Baxter trying to stay with him. See, Moncrief's got that left knee taped pretty good. It's the one he's had the problem with, the tendonitis, after he was hurt in a non-conference game against Memphis State on December 30th. Zahn takes the shot. Alan Zahn has 7 points. And it's Texas by 1, 44-43.
You know, Moncrief's got 3 fouls on him in the first half and a sore knee, and he's still got 18.
Baxter. Texas just will not give up that lead. Underneath, Stroud has it blocked on him by Moncrief. Baxter gets it back over Stroud, or rather over Shaw, and Shaw is called on the personal foul.
The Arkansas bench is up. All 4 coaches are hollering. They thought that Shaw got raked across the wrist, and that's how Baxter came up with the ball.
That's 3 personal fouls on Shaw, so Shaw's got 3, Moncrief's got 3. Both of the starting Arkansas seniors in foul trouble. And Baxter will go to the line of the shooting violation with 2 shots. His team leading by 1. Baxter's first free throw attempt of the night is successful. He has 9 on the evening. 2-point lead for Texas. Press with the rebound. Arkansas with a chance to tie.
Moncrief needs to get in the flow here now. He hasn't shot the ball 3 or 4 trips down the floor. He's too good a player. He needs to put it up.
Shaw double team out to Fress. U.S. Reed. Zahn gets it inside to Shaw, and Zahn lost it, saved it. That'll be over and back. Texas will gain possession.
Zahn made a great effort to save that ball, but he threw it in the backcourt.
So Eddie Sutton a little disturbed at the turnover. Texas up by 2 points with the ball under their offensive hoop.
Arkansas going to a 2-3 zone. They'll play this play out with a 2-3 zone.
Moore on the outside. Krivaks from 22. Nothing but the bottom of the net.
He loves to see that zone.
Jim Krivaks gets his first basket of the second half. He has 15 points, 4-point lead at 47-43 for the Longhorns. Both of these teams get nationally televised shots here in the next week. Arkansas on Sunday against North Carolina at Greensboro, and Texas next Saturday against Southern California at Austin. So a great bit of exposure there for Southwest Conference basketball. Shaw. Fine board by Dave Shepard, the 6'4 sophomore from Los Angeles. Johnny Moore brings it down. Longhorns cool, calm, and collected. Leading by 4. Shepard looking for help. Moncrief trying to stay with him. That will be a jump ball.
I don't think there's any question on who's going to get the tip here. Well, we don't even have the old jump ball, do we, Frank?
Nope.
Arkansas gets the ball. That'd have been a tough act there if he'd have caused the jump and then Texas get the ball, but Arkansas does get it.
Arkansas's turn, of course, next tie ball, the possession will revert to Texas under Southwest Conference rules. Arkansas trailing by 4 points. Moncrief, top of the circle, has not scored here in the second half, which is almost 8 minutes old. 12 minutes, 30 seconds remaining to play in the game. 47-43. Very deliberate second half so far. Texas has cooled off in its shooting. They're hitting 70% most of the first half. U.S. Reed. Texas 6 basket. He's got 13. Texas by 2.
He's going to have that opportunity to shoot that 18-footer all night because they're actually almost playing 2 people on Sidney Moncrief.
Johnny Moore, 6 out of 6 from the field tonight. 12 points for Moore, who hasn't missed. And again, it's Texas by 4, 49-45. U.S. Reed, who has come on strong for the Razorbacks, 10-0 on the season, 2-0 in conference play. They won a squeaker down at Houston, then beat Rice here the other night, 79-66. Texas beaten by Tech, but owning victories over TCU and also over Houston. Their conference record is 2-1. Moncrief penetrating. Baxter rebounds. John Moore brings it down. Substitute getting ready to come into the ball game for the Arkansas Razorbacks.
These are 2 well-coached ball clubs. Now they're going to play good. They're going to play good, smart basketball.
Scramble for the ball. They get it to Baxter, who's loose for a moment. Krivaks fakes the shot from 20. Reed staying with him. Texas playing ball control here. They lead by 4. Just under 11 minutes left to play in the game. Krivaks with the open shot. There he goes again. 7 buckets. 3 free throws for Krivaks. 6-point lead for Texas. It's Mike Young who's getting ready to come in. Shaw missing the shot. Arkansas has gone cold. We got a whistle and a foul called underneath on Reed of the Razorbacks. His first personal foul. Mike Young checks into the ball game, number 34. And with him, Keith Peterson, number 42, also comes in with the score. Texas 50. Wherever. Well, they were called to the Hogs during that timeout here in Fayetteville. We're ready to go with 10:33 left to play. Looks like Arkansas has cooled off again, and Texas has heated up in the shooting percentages.
Well, not only that, as Texas has passed Arkansas on the rebounds, now they're leading them 18-17 in that department.
Arkansas hitting 62% in the evening. Rather, Texas hitting 62% and Arkansas 46% up until that last timeout. Baxter. The rebound goes right to Krivaks, so Texas gets a break there. Baxter. Oh, I tell you, that's using that weight, isn't it?
He used every ounce.
Just muscled his way through, did Ron Baxter. Baxter did not work out all week because of the sprained ankle he suffered against Houston on Monday. He has 11 points, and Texas has built its lead now back to 8, 53-45. 9 minutes and 40 seconds left to play in the game. Arkansas has got to get hot, and they've got to get Moncrief loose for some points. He's not scored in the second half. They've been relying on Reed. Reed hits another. That's 7 buckets for him and 15 points on the evening. 53-47.
Sidney doesn't seem to be in the game like he was at the tail end of the first half. He's really got to play aggressive to get this gang going.
Kravacs from the corner. 19 points for Jim Kravacs. One of the great pure shooters probably in Southwest Conference history. 55-47. Texas by 8. Arkansas undefeated at 10-0. Ranked number 10 of the nation. Texas unranked after its early season problems. And certainly coming back strong after the loss to Texas Tech last week. Here's Steve Shaw. 6'11" senior gets his second basket. Comes at an opportune time. 55-49. 8 minutes, 30 seconds left to play. Listen to these Arkansas fans. They are really raising the roof off Barnhill Arena, trying to get the Razorbacks steamed up. Inside to Stroud. Moore to Baxter. Foul called away from the ball on Stroud.
You know, Texas has their good shooters have the green light from Abe to take the shot anytime they want, but you know they have the great ability to really work.
23 seconds left to play in the game.
Metro Communication Sports couldn't have picked a better game, Frank.
It's a great one. I'll tell you, we've seen a little bit of everything. Some great play from Moncrief, from U.S. Reed, and on Texas side, of course, Kravacs and Moore and Ron Baxter showing everybody why they won the NIT last year. Arkansas trailing by 6. They have the ball. Brown has come back into the game. Zahn from the corner missing, and collecting the rebound is Philip Stroud. Razorbacks are not beating the boards like they were earlier.
Texas is going to walk the ball down the floor. They're going to take their time, take only the good shots.
6-point lead for the Longhorns. 7 minutes, 45 seconds remaining. Texas would go 3-1, and of course Arkansas 2-1 in the conference. Texas Tech, the current leader, at 3-0. Baxter forcing it up the middle. Zahn grabs the rebound. Hey, Moncrief went down hard, and so did Stroud, and Moncrief getting up a little slow as he cruises back down court and becomes a part of the Arkansas offense. Shaw inside. Steve Shaw. Another clutch basket. It's 55-51. Horns by 4.
Texas can't get too cozy with a basketball. They've got to go ahead and attack that defense.
Johnny Moore, great ball handling guard who is 6 out of 6 from the field. He hasn't missed. Taken only one shot here in the second half and made that one. Kravacs, number 11, Texas leading scorer, driving on Moncrief. Gets a good pick from Baxter. Baxter with a fine pick on Moncrief, took him out of the play. And Kravacs collects his 9th basket. He's at 21 points for the evening.
He loves to play in front of the big crowds. He played at Southport High School right outside of Indianapolis. He knows what it's all about.
57-51. 6.5 minutes remaining in the game. Razorbacks playing catch-up as they've been all night. They've tied it here in the second half. Here's Reed collecting his 8th field goal. He has 17. As we said, Arkansas has tied it here in the second half, but they haven't been ahead since 10-9. Moore doing a good job of drawing the personal foul as Brown couldn't stop. Tony Brown picks up his first personal. He's from Chicago, by the way. Freshman recruit of Eddie Sutton's.
You saw a senior make a good offensive play. You saw a freshman make really a kind of a dumb
make a freshman play.
That's right, old freshman play.
Team fouls, 4 apiece. So right now, neither team too close to the bonus situation. 6 minutes left in the game. Kravacs driving on Moncrief. He's been playing with 3 fouls, Moncrief has, since the first 4 minutes of the game. But Moncrief has not scored here in the second half, and that's been a big factor. Stroud has her shot rejected, but the foul was called prior to the shot.
call a foul on Shaw. One thing they're doing, Krivaks is trying to use a screen of Philip Stroud, and what happens, Arkansas defensive persons, which is Shaw, will go ahead and double up on Krivaks for a little bit, let Moncrief slide through the screen, and then go back to his man. They don't respect Philip Stroud's outside shooting.
That's 4 fouls on Shaw. Johnny Moore got a pick there from Stroud, couldn't take advantage of it. Krivaks, Moncrief guarding him closely. They're not going to let him shoot if they can prevent it. Stroud again driving on Shaw, and again Shaw having to be very careful with 4 fouls on him. And this time it's Reed who draws the personal foul. Shaw kind of had to back off a little bit to avoid committing that 5th personal foul.
They call a foul on Shaw here. Let's take a look at it here. Now you see him go up. Stroud goes up.
I think he missed him.
I did too. Here comes Reed. Well, Reed is the guy that actually got part of the ball. But they call a foul on Steve Shaw.
So Shaw fouls out of the game. 6'11" senior center for the Arkansas Razorbacks. 5 minutes, 26 seconds left to play. And Texas has a 4-point advantage. Stroud on the free throw line makes the first one and also gets the second.
That's something he does a lot better than Gary Goodner. Gary was not a very good free throw shooter for the Horns. Stroud is a 74% shooter.
He's hit 3 out of 4 from the line. 6-point lead now for the Longhorns with 5 minutes and 15 seconds left to play. Texas gets a big break as Steve Shaw finds out in a case of mistaken identity. As the replay showed that Shaw never touched Stroud, but the foul was instead on Ulysses Reed. But the officials didn't see it that way. Of course, they didn't have advantage of the replay either. Press has come back into the game. That's Tony Brown, number 40, off to Zahn. Moncrief trying to go with the tip and couldn't get it down.
The next foul that Arkansas commits will put Texas on the free throw line. They have 16 fouls. On the 7th, they go to the line.
I can't believe that Texas has held Moncrief scoreless here in the second half after he had 18 points in the first half. 59-53 Texas, 4.5 minutes. Another substitute getting ready to come into the ball game for Arkansas. Eddie Sutton substituting a lot more this year than he did last year when he had the standouts. Pass knocked away, saved by Stroud. All alone is Moore. Johnny Moore alone out of the bucket. He is 7 for 7 from the field. Basket will count, and he was fouled.
He got a foul. Somebody shoved him from the rear. This is what Texas does best. You give them a lead 5 or 6 minutes in the game with that veteran team, and they're tough to beat.
8-point advantage now for the Longhorns as Arkansas, the all-time leading scorer in Arkansas basketball history. Only Marvin Duff is ahead of him.
Well, it's a must that they get a basket now. They've got to close this gap. There's 3.5 minutes to go in the game. They've got to cut it.
Moncrief finally hits his first basket of the second half. And Texas will call time. So Moncrief went 16.5 minutes in the second half before he scored his first 2 points. He has 20 now for the game.
So Texas, Ron Baxter, having that experience, called timeout and say, let's set up for this thing.
7-point advantage for the Longhorns. Arkansas has not led since the 10-9 mark in the first half. Texas was up by 6 at halftime. Their biggest lead in the game has been 10. Arkansas came back and caught them, tied them early in the second half at 38. But Arkansas has never been ahead in the second half. Texas very calmly came back and built up their lead again. They've been ahead anywhere from 5 to 9 points for most of the second half. Full court press now by the Arkansas Razorbacks. Baxter off to Moore. Baxter is fouled by Brown.
Again, Brown is a freshman. That's not the kind of foul you want to pick up.
That brings down a hail of paper cups wadded up from above. Ron Baxter on the free throw line. He's 1 out of 2 from the line. U.S. lead.
About him, when he did something bad, he just hit a big pressure basket, took it down on the fast break, and hit a tough 10-foot jump shot.
His first basket of the night. 5-point lead for Texas. Johnny Moore trying to get it across the center line. Stroud back to Moore. Brown goes sprawling. 2 minutes, 55 seconds left to play in the game.
The guy that you don't want to foul is Jim Krivaks.
Hey, there's bodies flying on the floor all over the place here. Moore double teamed, looking for help. Baxter back outside to Branyan. Stroud to Johnny Moore. 2.5 minutes to go. Krivaks drives baseline and throws it away. However, we get a foul called underneath. No, it's not a foul. It was last touched by Hastings, and they're going to give the ball to Texas. Texas will call time. Abe Lemons looking up at the stands as the Texas bench and the floor is being shelled by wadded up paper cups.
Well, what's 1,999
right.
that don't think he did?
Longhorns have the ball underneath their offensive basket. They're going to try to draw the foul here. They have a 5-point advantage with 2 minutes and 20 seconds left to play in the game. Nothing but the good shot now. Johnny Moore to Krivaks. Moncrief comes out after him. 2 minutes and 10 seconds. We'll keep a close eye on the clock for you. Moore to Krivaks. Seasoned Texas team. 4 starting returnees from the NIT championship team. They were co-champions along with Arkansas last year, 14-2 in the conference. Texas stalling and doing a good job of it. 1 minute and 45 seconds. And finally, Moncrief picks up the personal foul, his 4th, as he fouls John Moore.
That's not the guy that you really want. That's not the guy Arkansas wants to foul. He has 3, picks up 4. 1 more puts him out of the game. One of the other Arkansas players should have fouled.
Moore is 1 out of 1 from the free throw line. Those fans behind the bucket are going nuts. Well, that proved to be effective, I guess. Hastings clearing the board down to Moncrief, to U.S. Reed. Longhorns down by 5 with 1.5 minutes. Moncrief looking for the shot, has it knocked out of his hands by Krivaks. Great steal. Excellent defense by Texas. And now the Arkansas win streak is definitely on the line. They're undefeated on the year. Charging foul called against Texas. Philip Stroud ran into Hastings. And Arkansas will get the ball back with 1 minute 21 to go.
Abe is furious at Philip Stroud. You've got to be careful. Everybody's going to be falling down on the floor trying to pick up a charge. Stroud ran down the floor, not watch where he was going, ran right over Hastings.
Young has it tipped away by Moore, and Texas gets it back again. Moore's going to slow it down and try to get it back into the stall. To Krivaks with 1 minute 10 to go, a whistle and a foul called on Arkansas.
Arkansas with 2 opportunities. Had the ball twice, could have cut it to 1 point.
Turned it over.
Krivaks made a great defensive play on Sidney Moncrief, slapping that ball out of his hand. Johnny Moore coming up with a key interception.
This time it's Arkansas. Calls the timeout. Clock shows 1 minute and 2-point lead. Arkansas with the full court press. Trying to hang on, come back, preserve their undefeated season so far and their string of 35 straight victories here at Barnhill Arena. Johnny Moore gets the inbounds pass. We get a whistle, and we get traveling called against Texas. Abe Lemons can't believe it. Arkansas will get the ball, down by 4. Moncrief inbounds it to U.S. Reed. Press, the freshman from Austin. No good. The foul is called on Mike Young of Arkansas as he reached over Ron Baxter of Texas. And the teams will move to the Texas free throw line to our right.
Well, Fress took the jump shot. He had about a 12-footer. I guess if Eddie Sutton would have rather had his druthers, probably would have rather had Moncrief trying to get the basket. That's a freshman. You like to go with the experience. You like to go with your All-American, your blue chipper. But Fress had enough guts as a freshman to go ahead and take it.
Free throw is missed, and the rebound to Arkansas's U.S. Reed. Here comes Reed. 42 seconds left in the game. Moncrief from 20 feet.
That's the guy. That's the guy that has to take the remaining shots for Arkansas. They cut it to 2 points.
2-point lead for Texas. 30 seconds to go. Baxter to Krivaks in the backcourt.
They're going to have to foul, Frank.
The foul is on Young. And Moore will go to the free throw line, and Abe Lemon's having to work. Boy, this is one time you don't want a technical. Huh?
No, what he's talking about is when Baxter was on the free throw line shooting, a paper cup hit him in the leg right before he shot it. Abe got up then. He was very upset about it. Thought they should have, gave him another chance up there. I don't know. I don't think you can, but he wanted another attempt by Baxter.
Abe went over and said something to Eddie Sutton, and I'm sure that's what they're talking about. Here's Moore on the line. 2 out of 4 from the free throw line. 1 and 1. Big free throw.
Got a lot of metal that time.
3 out of 5 for Johnny Moore. 64-61. 24 seconds left. Arkansas still alive. They trail by 3. 20 seconds left to play in the game. Reed looking for an opening to Moncrief. He drives, goes up from 16. Short of the mark, tipped up, no good. And we get a foul called, I believe, on Arkansas under the bucket. It's going to be on Young. "13 seconds left to play in the game." PA announcer asking the fans here in Arkansas to refrain from throwing debris on the floor. Texas by 3, 64-61, 13 seconds to go, and Branyan is on the free throw line. This will be his first free throw attempt of the night.
That missed attempt by Moncrief about did it for Arkansas. They had a chance, could have cut it down to 1 point. It's about all over right now.
Tyrone Branyan quiets the fans as he gives Texas a 4-point lead with 13 seconds to go, and this one surely can submit it for Texas. Branyan hits, and the Longhorns look like they have a big upset. 10 seconds left to play in the game. They lead by 5. Moncrief from 23. Scrap underneath. The rebound goes to Hastings. He puts it through for 2 points. 1 second left to play. And a timeout is being called by Arkansas. Now Arkansas's got 10-1 on the season. They are 2-1 in conference play. Texas goes 9-4 in the year. They are also in conference play now, 3 victories against 1 loss. And as we said before, Arkansas losing its first game at home since January 8th of 1976. That involves 35 straight games.